everyone, just thought I'd give you a bit of a demo of the new MY22 21-foot Rodale Adventurer. I know there's lots of people out there that are anxious to see what they look like, and there's not that many out there at the moment, so as promised thought I'd do a bit of a video to show you around. We'll try not to go too fast. It's always good to be able to pause the video and see what it is that we're actually talking about. So coming around here, front is nothing different compared to normal caravans. We've obviously just been camping today, so we're still hooked up. You have your 12 pin. Just make sure that you do actually get that checked and against the map, because all different caravans are mapped differently. So we had ours different to the Jayco and others, so we did have to get it rewired. We also have down here the safety camera, Safety Dave pin. So that works really well. You can always see the back, what is out the back of the caravan, so really good for seeing what's coming up. And then you have your Anderson plug that charges the battery. So we just need to make sure that is all ready to go. Over here you also have the connector for the safety. If your van actually does pull off, then that will pull the brakes on. The Trail Safe BM Pro there. You've got the wheel there that goes in the middle. Sometimes they're on the side here. We've actually upgraded that to be a Trailmate, which is a little bit more sturdy. As normal, you got your 2 gas bottles out the front here. You got your connector up the top. They came full. And you also have a really good tray here. So we haven't put anything there at the moment to stay there while we're traveling, but it's certainly good just to pop stuff there as well. Tap at the front connected to the pump, so good to wash your feet or fill up buckets or anything that you need to do there. I think that's pretty much all that we have at the front. Tunnel boot, so there's one light in the tunnel boot, it's on the other side. And you also have to be pretty careful of these hinges here, so they are prone to breaking. We haven't had any break yet. We're pretty careful though in terms of the way that we drop it, so we're just holding it still. You can see we've got our Weber in here, so it does fit. I think that is just the, it's not the high top, so it's just the standard one, but it does squeeze in there. So not too much more to point out in terms of the tunnel boot, but it certainly does fit quite a lot of stuff in there. In terms of the awning, it's a pretty standard awning pull out. It does have, you'll see at the top here, the little center bracket that's really just an additional support. Step pulls out, so this is a pretty good easy step to pull in and out. Nice and easy. The door does come apart, so it's just a matter of hinging that and lifting it, and then that comes apart, so you can easily just keep that shut there. What else have we got? Light here for the handle. Doesn't really do too much, it just shines it up if you are putting your key in there in the dark. Outdoor speaker, so when you're inside we'll show you how that works, but you can use the fader to then move the sound inside or outside. Picnic table, pretty sturdy picnic table. Just comes up and down. We use that all the time rather than getting out other big tables. Over to the right here further, we've got 12-volt plug. So if you're plugging in your TV, we also used to plug in some additional external King's lights, and then an aerial point there as well. If you have got your TV, then you also have a 240 point there. Down the bottom here, and this is new, I believe, is where the water pump is. And the dogs. Get out of the way. So previously that's been inside, but nice and easy to be able to access the water pump there. We certainly had no problems with that so far. This is the toilet cassette, but we'll have a look at that when we go on the inside. That's about it around here. Something new on the MY22 is the tyre that is recessed. So that's something that's been different and I think is becoming a bit of a standard. Up the top there you'll see the Safety Dave camera. Now when we did originally get that, it was siliconed quite low, so you could basically only see to the floor here. So we managed to kind of just adjust that to be out a little bit further. Well, you do want to see what's right behind you in case there's kids. You also want to see when you're driving what is sort of 10-20 meters behind you. Something that we did get installed as an extra, and it's not open so I can't open it for you, but essentially this tunnel boot here. So on the inside you don't really have much access under the bunks, so this has been a really great feature. Just gives us a nice bit of space to be able to access what's underneath the bunks. Down the bottom here you've got, this is the outlet for the water tank. So if you do want to let the water out at any time, you can just spin that and out comes the water. Extra Anderson plug, I think that was standard. That just means that you can plug in the solar. So if you've got a portable solar blanket or any kind of portable solar, you do need to take the regulator off, but you can plug that in there and it essentially then just gives you a little bit of extra solar. On here, what's in here? I don't know.
Lithium battery.
The lithium battery. So we did opt to upgrade to the lithium battery. Go away, dog. We are considering whether or not we want to then go a second battery. And they do provide, don't know if you can see it in there, but there's a start of the bracket to be able to put another box on there. So they put that as standard. We've upgraded to the lithium, so far so good. But if you are going off grid for longer than a few days and you don't potentially get some sun, then you might need that extra second battery. What else have we got? Vents for the fridges. They do have a rail track up the top there. I don't know if you can see that. We haven't used it, but you can then put a shade sail over the back to be able to protect the fridge from the heat, particularly if you're somewhere that it's hot. That's for the hot water. This is the external shower. Don't have that open, but it's just like any other external shower. You've got a hose that's connected to the water pump and you can wash your feet there as well. This is for if you're in a caravan park and you can connect to water, so you easily just pop your hose in there. Just make sure that you always have the connection for the hose for the caravan park, so you need to be able to spin that adapter on there as well. But that doesn't fill up the tanks, it just you use it when you're in the caravan park for that water pressure. These two here are where you do fill up your water tanks, so you've got your bank tank and your front tank. Just put it on a little slowly, because if you put it on too fast it doesn't give time for the air to come back out. People have done other systems to be able to fill that up as well. We just put the hose in there, the white hose for the drinkable hose. We just put it in there nice and slow, leave it 5 minutes and that fills it up. Okay, going along, down the bottom there you've got your emptier for the second tank, so you can see there that you can turn that to let the water out. This is an aerial point for if you are in a caravan park and you do want to connect to their TV network. You don't see it often, but you do see it in some of the more fancy caravan parks, so you can easily connect your aerial up to where they've got their aerial point. The other side of the boot, not open, this is where the light is on this side. Essentially it's just connected to the big tunnel boot. This is where you do plug in your 15 amp plug into the caravan park, and then you've got a circuit breaker in this side. So I think that's about all on the outside. We'll see you on the inside. Alright, gonna head inside. We'll just pin that back there. That just locks back in place. You'll see here too we've got a magnetic blind, which is really good at night just to keep the light out. Pull that up. Okay, we'll try and take it slow. Obviously you want to see what it's like on the inside. We did pick the demo model, so we didn't get to choose any of the colours, but it's a pretty good standard colour, I think. So we only pack up for weekends. We haven't really packed it up to go on any long journeys at the moment, so you'll find that most of the cupboards are pretty empty. There's plenty of storage. We have done the weights, so we've got a professional weight person out to check our well track that we tow with and the caravan. So we have a 6-ton GCM, and we've come a few hundred kilos under, but obviously that's pretty easy to increase that weight once you fill all the cupboards. So we do travel light, but as I said, we're only usually on weekends. So if you come into the bathroom, pretty sizable bathroom. So we've got a sink, some cupboards down here. We keep some stuff in the van for the weekends, and obviously the toilet, and that's where the cassette comes out on the outside there. A couple of little windows, a couple of cupboards up the top here. As I said, we've got nothing in them. So far, we haven't had any of these latches break. We do have one that was delivered not quite right, this one here, but they are known to be a little bit fragile, so just keep an eye on those. You might need to get some of those replaced in that initial warranty period. So the shower is pretty sizable as well. They do recommend that the shower, you pop that down on the floor when you travel. Some of them do tend to fall off, so if you scroll down, you'll see that down at the bottom that we've just come back, so we've just got that sitting on the floor. Also, just be careful when you're traveling, you remember to put the hatch down, because they are pretty flimsy and certainly can fly off if you're on the freeway and get caught in a little bit of wind. We've got this concertina door here, which is pretty good, so good for privacy, and does stay out of the way, so it's not taking up any space. We have not opted for any washing machines, so these are essentially just lots of good cupboard space. You can see we don't have anything in there except a couple of leftover things from the weekend. We've got the bunks, two double bunks in this one. The ladder just sits in here. And you'll see that there is also a safety bar if you've got somebody young up top, which we do. You've got a privacy curtain here, which we shut at night, and that just allows, it just sits there, but just allows a little bit of privacy if you're watching TV or if the kids are in bed. Okay, the fridge is a pretty good size. It does take a good day or two to cool down, so make sure that you do turn it on sort of at least a day before you plan to travel. We always put some cold cans in here, plus also like a couple of freezer blocks, and that helps it chill a lot quicker. Up the top here you do have 3 settings. So if you have it on the setting of AES, which is essentially the automatic setting, it will choose what type of power it needs to run. So it automatically looks for electricity 240 volt first. So if you're plugged into caravan park, it will do that first. Then it'll aim for gas. So if you've got the gas on, it'll go there. And then while you're towing the car, while you're towing it with the car, it will go on to AC. We tend to have it sort of set in the middle to keep it quite cool. It does, once it gets cold, it is actually very, very effective. The aircon up high, it does come with the remote, but we tend to just press the buttons on the top here, and it does work really well. No problem so far at all. It does certainly cool this little space of a caravan pretty quickly. Microwave, which we've used just a couple of times. Some drawers, so obviously cutlery drawer, and some additional drawers down the bottom. They're quite long, so they do hold quite a bit. So in here you have your hot water system, and we've put some kitchen stuff in there, and in the drawer, in the cupboard here, in the switch in there, the grey switch, that is the hot water 240 volt hot water. So when you are plugged in somewhere, rather than use the gas, you can turn that on electricity. Just make sure that you always have your water plugged in and you've got water running through first, because you don't want to start running that when you've got no water in that hot water tank in there. Up in this cupboard you have the battery management system. So it essentially does everything itself, but this is where you'd come if something is going wrong. We also put in this DC battery charger, and we also did put in a Wi-Fi, which we haven't set up yet, but essentially that just then allows you to put in a SIM card and get better Wi-Fi. You can see up the top there you've got hot water for gas, so if you are off grid and you want some hot water, then you would use the gas system there. We have the TV sitting here at the moment, but we do have the TV bracket over here, which is where it will sit on if we're watching TV on the bed. It doesn't spin around far enough to be able to watch it on the lounge, so we often then just take it off, put it there where it is, so sort of everybody can sit and watch the TV. What else have we got? Just some more cupboards down below here. The griller that we haven't really used. You can see all the stuff is still in there. I'll just move that out of the way. And then we've got the gas stove. So that just works as you would expect. If you are trying to run anything with gas, it's a good idea to run a bit of gas through here first to then get your fridge going or to get your hot water going. That way you can see when the gas has actually come through the lines. I'll just show you the blind system. So they're all the same in terms of the windows. So loosen off the windows and you can open these up. And then just tighten the little nozzle. For the blinds, you've got, you can scroll down for the midgie proof, apparently fly screens, and then you can go up for the night time to block out the light. Just lay that down like that. Up the top here you do have 12 volt power for your TV and another aerial point there, so if you're looking to connect up to the WineGuard aerial that's on the roof, that's where you're plugging that into there. We've put in the Sirocco fans, which highly recommend. They're really great. They swivel. They've got a couple of different, I can unhook it, a couple of different speeds. You can spin them around depending on where you actually want that. So if we turn that on, and they're quite powerful and they're pretty quiet, and they're running off the 12 volt rather than the 240 volt. In the cupboards, we've just got a bit of food in there at the moment and the coffee machine. Other people have put some shelves in there because it is quite a long, deep space. We might do that at some point, but as I said, we're only really going weekends, so we're not really filling up the cupboards anyway. A bit of hanging space at the top, and there are some drawers down here, but there's a bit of stuff in the way. We love the island bed. This is the first time we've actually had an island bed, and we're not crawling over each other in various campers or caravans, so definitely enjoying this island bed and a bit of extra space. These are quite handy, these little lights here. So underneath there's actually a USB port, so you can plug in your phone chargers, and then you've got the little shelf up top here to put anything that you want to. It also allows you, and it's going to be a bit hard to see in here, but if you hold the button, and we would never have picked this up unless the guy showed us, it does actually dim the light. So you need to hold it and then it'll turn off. So same on this side as the other side, and then up the top here you also have some good cupboard space. Again, you can see that it's all empty, and then you also have a couple of drawers here next to the bed. Okay, so along this side again we've got some more cupboards. And then here you've got your stereo system. So as I said, you can use the fader to go inside or outside with the speakers. We also found that you can Bluetooth the speaker system to the TV. So if you are watching a movie, you're watching it inside or outside, and you want a little bit more volume, sometimes these TVs don't actually have very good volume. So you can look for the Clarion system on the Bluetooth on your TV. I think that's about it. Anything that I've missed? Okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. Reach out if you do have any questions, but hopefully this helps the waiting for your van a little bit easier. Thanks.